So on the first day of VidCon, I was getting on an elevator and I noticed that some girls were coming and they were probably trying to get on the elevator as well. So I held the door open and then they got on and then I looked at their name tags and one of them was Rebecca Black, but unfortunately it was Thursday, so I couldn't make any good jokes. I bet that never gets old for her. Also on the first day of VidCon, I was trying to buy a Diet Coke out of a vending machine, but it kept spitting out my dollar bills and I was like, what, the 1990s called and they want their vending machines back that don't accept dollars even though they're perfectly straight? And I was getting all upset and then somebody was like, JoshSundquist, except he said it with a British accent and he's like, can I help you? And I look and it's Finn Harry's and he's offering to help me buy something out of a vending machine using a currency that he doesn't even understand because he's British and they use pounds sterling there. That's just how nice of a guy Finn Harry's is. I didn't see Jack until the next day when we were on a panel together. Jack was late because his passport was recently stolen and he was stuck in an airport trying to get here, but he got a passport in like 6 hours, which is amazing. When I first got to VidCon, I ran into Miss Glamorazzi and her boyfriend on the elevator. Her boyfriend recently wanted to read the copy of We Should Hang Out Sometime, an advanced copy that I sent to Ingrid, but she insisted that he read Just Don't Fall first, which he's currently reading. I appreciate that, Ingrid. Thanks for keeping things chronologically accurate in your boyfriend's life as it relates to my life. I saw John and Hank a few times and talked to them, but I also talked to their wives a bunch, and don't tell John and Hank I said this, but their wives might be cooler than they are. Speaking of the Vlogbrothers, Elmify and I snuck in through a backdoor secret entrance to skip the line to watch John Green's Industry Day keynote. I saw Joey Graceffa a few times during VidCon, but I was so distracted every time when I talked to him because I was like, your hair is amazing, how do you make it do that? But I didn't say that, I just thought that in my brain. I hung out with Justine and Jenna a few times, and Jenna kept me supplied with Quest bars, which is great because Quest bars are pretty much the only thing I eat when I'm here at home, so it kept things consistent. What do you call it? Gastrointestinal system while I was at VidCon. In retrospect, that sentence sounded a little bit grosser than I intended. What else? Let's talk about the Holy Trinity. I saw Hannah Hart and her sister. They were adorable as always. I talked to Mamrie Hart. I think I'm pronouncing that right this time. I know I always mispronounce it. She recognized me from my Halloween costumes, which made me feel really good inside. And I walked by Grace Helbig several times in the hallway, but I was too nervous to talk to her. She's one of those YouTubers that I'm kind of like starstruck by. When I talk to her, I'm like, you are so talented. I do not know what to say. I don't know why I'm talking like a robot. Shaycarl came up and gave me a hug and told me he'd watched one of my videos recently, which was awesome because I didn't know that Shaycarl even knew who I was. I also got a hug from Shane Dawson, who I didn't know that he knew who I was, in the men's room, and then we proceeded to have a pretty lengthy conversation while a famous British YouTuber urinated behind us. Really interesting situation, but Shane Dawson, what a nice guy. Speaking of niceness, Michael Buckley, oh my gosh, nicest guy of all time, and his hair was looking really good at VidCon. I don't know why I'm talking about hair so much in this video. On my panel, The Power of Online Video, I misreferred to Tyler Oakley, like I got his name wrong in front of like 1,000 people. That was really embarrassing. But then we shared a joke about how we had once secretly dated, or at least I think we had a joke like that. Maybe it was just in my imagination. But I think it's safe to say we all like to imagine we once secretly dated Tyler Oakley. I was walking out of the full screen party with Pearl, and a car drove by, and a guy who looked like Ian from Smosh like leaned out the window of the car and was like, Josh! And Pearl and I were like, that looks like Ian, but like, why would he be yelling at me from a moving vehicle? Then I read on Twitter yesterday that it was Ian from Smosh because his girlfriend Melanie was in the car, and Melanie watches me on YouTube. Thanks for watching me, Melanie. I hung out a bunch with Hart. She and her assistant Emily recently filmed a fully three-dimensional vlog that you watch with Oculus Rift. I saw Phil DeFranco and his fiancée, Lindsay. Phil DeFranco is currently reading an advanced copy of We Should Hang Out Sometime, just throwing it out there, pretty awesome. Talked to them about their new baby, Trey, which is the best name ever. Phil DeFranco III. Boom, Trey, get it. I embarrassed myself by telling Mika Kitty I thought that she lived in Paris, when in fact she lives in Tennessee, so that was weird. I saw her and her boyfriend and Annalou, we hung out, it was pretty awesome. I have this belt buckle that I've had for many years that has a built-in bottle opener, and one night I was at a party and Charlie, he's so cool, like, needed a bottle opened for his girlfriend, and I was like, oh, I can do that for you, and then I just started like taking off my belt in front of him at this party, which was appropriate because Charlie's so cool, like has often taken his pants off on stage at events such as VidCon. I had coffee with Karen Southern, and then she invited me to join her and Ali Speed and Michael Buckley and Exotic Jess and Joe Nation and a whole bunch of other people that I had never met before on the main stage to dance to celebrate the success of the Thirst Project. Have I mentioned Emily from the Brain Scoop yet? I don't think I have. Guys, she's the most charming and amazing person ever. One time I sat at the same table as Zay Frank and I was like, Zay Frank, inventor of vlogging! But that was just in my mind, really I didn't say anything at all. So Natalie from Community Channel like randomly showed up at VidCon at the last minute. Nobody knew that she was even gonna be there. I got to talk to her And I totally fangirled. I was like, Natalie, you're so talented and amazing, I can't believe it. I saw Dan Is Not on Fire and The Amazing Phil several times, but I was a little too nervous to talk. Got to hang out with my boy Kareem, aka K6 Faces. Caught up with my boy Wheezy Waiter and his lovely girlfriend China. They're now on tour with Green. And so many other amazing people. Karen Cabot, Megan Tonjes, Nathan aka The Third Pew, and many, many more. I could go on for hours and hours like this. Everyone I've mentioned in this video, by the way, I love. They're all just great, amazing people. And that's been my experience with YouTubers. Like, YouTubers are generally just like super cool people in real life.